As you can see, our workspace is getting a little bit small, so I'll probably have to get a carpenter in and make something basic, you know, just like 2 feet, double the 2 feet, and maybe by 8 feet in length. Raise it a little bit, and that will give us more space to do our projects. So I went into Adobe Illustrator, I made this pattern, I printed out on a PDF. But when I printed out, I actually saw that it was with a border, as you can see on that side. So the first thing that I need to do, I need to just trim it down, take the edges off so they align perfectly with each other. I will then paste that onto a cardboard and cut that out for my pattern. So on this side, I'm going to make, this is the front of a bag, this DE will be the back of a bag, and then down on this side you see the strips that I've made, and then H is going to be the pocket. So once I've cut out the pattern, I've cut out the front, which can also be used for the back, and I've cut out the pocket that will go on the inside of the bag. With this, because I've only cut one, I will actually flip it over and then place it on the other side of the leather. I found this beautiful leather. It's a bluish turquoise color, and I will start cutting this. Important is to make sure that the placement of the pattern is in such a way that you use most of the leather available to you. Okay, so I've prepared the leather. I've cut it to a smaller size, and what I've done now, I've laid a pattern down, and using my stitching awl, I mark the area where I need to cut it. So I will take this off now, I will cut the leather, and then I will take the next step. Okay, so we've moved forward. I've cut 4 strips, 60 centimeters long and about 3.5 centimeters wide. And then in addition we got our little logo, and then I have the pocket here. What we're going to do now, we're going to cut these, just form them with a half circle on that side, but then when I put them into the bag, we're actually going to change the pocket. We've got the pocket like this right now. That was supposed to go on the inside, so what we're going to do now, we're actually going to make it a little bit bigger and leave that extra part in there, so that once I put it on the inside, it's actually going to come in there and support the strap. Let's get going, and we'll show you. Let's get going, and we'll show you soon how we move forward. So we've now added the clips on both the front and the rear side, and then on the front side we've now put a label inside there just to cover the clip, and we decided to put an outside pocket here, just 20 by 20 centimeter, just for quick access where people can put their small little things. On the inside, on the back side, we're now going to put a pocket that's going to come loose. It's got basically a flap, and then the straps will then connect to there on the outside. So stay tuned, and we'll be back with an update soon. So now the interesting part starts. Now we need to start stitching. We'll stitch this first before we clip it in, and then on the outside we'll do a stitch on the logo, and then we'll do a stitch on the pocket. So this is what we've done recently. We put an outside pocket. We've also attached our label or logo, which covers the front side of our magnetic clip, and then we've decided to also put an inside pocket which will cover the other side of the magnetic clip. Inside pocket is just a handy storage area. This is what the other clip looks like. Well, obviously we'll have to put another piece of leather over there just to hide it, and what I'm busy right now is making the straps, everything hand sewn. As you can see, it's a lot of work, but we'll get there. Take some time, but it's better to do a hand sew than a machine stitch. So once that is done, we'll attach the hand straps in the outside, also with clips. We'll just attach it in a position like that, and then once that is done, we'll flip this around and we'll sew it on the inside and also do the sewing of the corners. Okay, so the first strap is finished. We'll now make the second strap. I'm using the 5mm punch. I previously used a 4mm punch, but I just find that the 5mm just lays a little bit neater, the lines, once I sew them. What we've also done, we've added the pocket inside here. We made the hole for the clip to come through. My punching is quite a simple setup. I have about a 2-inch rubber foam here. You can see it's quite dense. On top of that, I have a granite plate, and then I have a normal plastic cutting board from the kitchen. I find that helps quite good to get the holes punched through neatly, as well it dampens the noise so the neighbors don't complain. In addition to that, I've also got what we call the sewing horse or sewing guide. The lever goes through there, it gets clamped in, and then it's much easier to sew. I find that using this speeds up my sewing compared to if I were just putting in my hand. Okay, so let's get started and we'll see you later. Okay, so now the clip is in and it's time to put in the handles. I finished sewing both handles. It took me 2 nights of sewing. It's quite intense. And okay, so what I did, first time ever, normally I used to sew these things into the bag, into the panel, but this is the first time I put the clips. Actually quite easy. I closed the magnetic clip. I place these on top of each other. First I glued the small part there, I glued that in, and then I punched the holes through each. So it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers that I had to go through. Wasn't too bad. I have a machine that helps me with, and then also the clips. I put the clips in with a machine, and what I have to do now is finish sewing these. So what I'll do, I'll turn them inside out. I turn them inside out and I sew inside there. Once that is sewn, then I sew this part. I'll show you later how I did that. And then I turn the bag inside out and it's done, I hope. Also what I did, I took a hydrophobic product and I sprayed on the flesh side here, just so it prevents any moisture, any water coming through to the grain side of the bag. Okay, let's continue. So here we are. We've now done the stitches on the edges. Only one completed so far, so I take it down to about 6 centimeters, and then I do a cross stitch here. So what will happen, I will then cut this very close to the stitch line, and then once I turn it inside out, it will give me a nice edge to the bag. So let's see. Okay, so we have finished the bag. On this bag I've done a couple of things which I haven't done before. I've got both a outside as well as an inside pocket on that side. I've also put a magnetic clip in, and my straps I've used these studs for first time. So every bag when I make is always something new, so I'm quite proud of it. I think it came out nice. The edges at the bottom were sewn by hand, a little bit lopsided, but not too bad for a first time. So for my next project I've been able to source a couple of patent leather. Patent leather is a finish. It's quite glossy. It's solvent based, and it has quite a unique appearance. It's very well known in the shoe industry. And as you can see, I've been able to get a few different patterns on here, embosses. Still thinking what I'm going to do with these. So if you're interested to know more about my next project, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and keep in touch.